Hello and welcome to Milan in Italy for the first International Canoe Federation Sprint World Cup of the 2014 season. We're joining you live waterside from the Outdoor Scala regatta venue. Of course, it was the 1999 World Championship venue. More importantly, it's going to be the 2015 World Championship venue. Lots of exciting competition yesterday, also lots more to come today. We're talking about the sprints. Luckily, I'm joined by two top athletes, Bridget Hartley from South Africa, Emily Fornell from Canada. I'm Matthew Layton. How are you in the season?
No, it's been just starting, so I think everyone's really excited for the 2014 summer, and this is a great course, and the sun's shining, so it's a great day for kayaking and canoeing.
We're looking forward to it. We're about 50 meters from the actual the lanes. It's a stunning place. It was actually constructed in the 1930s. It's been used many times in the last few years. I said 1999. Here we go, let's cut the rubbish straight on to the 500 meters men. 7 of the competitors today are going to be, or were rather, in the 1,000 meters yesterday. What do you think, girls? What do you think about the competitors?
I think it's going to be a really close race. Those guys yesterday looked in really, really good form. And I know that's like a favorite event for many of those guys, and they miss it in the Olympic program, so they're excited to go again and see who could win.
And Bridget, any favourites looking through?
It's a tough one to say who's my favourite, because I think many of them could take a medal. I know Ken Wallace is itching to.
Well, made the final yesterday. Came in last, the final of the Brown Brandies, the 1,000 metres yesterday, but made 2 finals. Good news. A complete giant here, 21 years old, Josef Dorsal. He actually got a bronze medal in one of the World Cups last year in this event, and we have the very easily to recognise Ben Stonvardi, again 21 years old. In the world's 500 metres he came 4th. Max Hoff won yesterday, the new lean mean winning machine. It's hasn't got massive victories at the 500, but he's definitely one to watch out for. Rennie Holton-Paulsen, great results in the Europeans last year, won the gold. In the silver he was overtaken in the Worlds last year in the last few metres. Barry Watkins looking for his first major victory here, and Kenny Wallace, who's off now, not known for his fast start, but certainly has a fast finish.
I think this is going to be an exciting race for everyone. We'll have to see when they get to the 250 mark to see who's got the best 250, and then thereafter things change a lot.
Any favourites in the lanes? Is it favouritising close or far?
I think this morning is a pretty fair course for everyone, so it's anybody's game, and those guys are used to racing against each other, so they know everyone's strategy, so it's really interesting to see who's up in front right now.
Joseph Dostal, I know, is definitely pushing hard to get a medal. He said so in a comment in Facebook yesterday, and he's got a few medals in the K4 for Czech, so he's definitely a good one to go for a medal today.
Early indications they're still all in the race, it looks like, from here.
You can see Ken too, he's usually holding back, but he's right in there with the pack, so look for him at the finish line.
The Czech guy's still pushing really hard, I think, and I think Renee Holton-Paulsen will be pushing hard for another medal too.
Well, just coming into our view, 100 metres to go, and the lead is consistently changing. Well, it's a 2-horse race at the moment. Who's going to take it over the line?
The Hungarian's pushing extremely hard, along with the Czech and the Aussie Ken Wallace, so I think it's going to be...
It looks like Ben Stonvardi is going to take it at the moment. Hungarian victory, 21 years old, Ben Stonvardi. He's been threatening. He was really close up last September in the Worlds, and obviously he's come through. I don't know what he's been doing exactly over winter, but it's certainly been working out well.
It was an impressive win too. He was pretty comfortable from the beginning. Against those guys, it's pretty impressive.
So they all seem to get a reasonable start there.
Joseph Dostal made sure that he got his medal today.
Well, you have to believe his predictions on Facebook. He's He's obviously had masses of success in the last few years in the K4 and come through recently in the K1. And
he medalled in the under 23s last year as well at their World Champs. I think he was the winner in the 1000 or junior. I'm not quite sure. But he has
been missing in the Olympic program, and it's nice to see all the big guys coming back and racing hard for the medal.
Well, there we go. Settling down into the morning. If you adjust, it's morning time here. Don't know what it is with you, but 9:10. Here we go. The K4 500 senior women's final. Two teams from China that haven't had much World Championship, World Cup exposure. New Zealand have got a new team out there. Sweden, very young, have been looking really, really good. Australia switched a couple of places, and they're end of their summer there, so they should be on form. And Poland as well. So any thoughts on these?
It's gonna be again a close race, a fast race. I've seen a lot of those girls train this winter all over the world, because in Canada it's too cold, so we have to go train everywhere else. So many of those crews are going good, and yeah, I'm excited to see.
I think the Chinese girls have got a race off, because I've heard that after these World Cups half the team's going home, so I know the Chinese are on form, and after this World Cup series they being selected for World Champs, so the Chinese are going to push as hard as they can, I'm sure.
17 Chinese women have come over this week. No men this week. There are actually quite a few going next week, but they had some good results yesterday. They medalled in the K1 500 women and the K2, so they're obviously they're doing something right, aren't they?
I think it's exciting to see a Danish women's K4. They haven't had one for a while, have they?
No, it's been a really long time, and their program is really building up, and you could see them yesterday at last year at the Worlds.
We've just had a quick view of New Zealand. We talked about them a second ago, but this Swedish team, they've been doing some good stuff. I remember talking to them a couple of years ago, most of them, when they were just 18, and they said, this is our ambition. And now they're fulfilling their potential, aren't they? Really come forward well. Poland, do you want to tell us who's racing? Full names, please.
I'm not quite sure if I'll get the correct pronunciation. How about you, Em? But I know a lot of them are very experienced, and some of them have been racing quite a lot. Yes, the Aussie crew, that's a little bit of a mix from last year, but I think they'll probably be going hard to get a great result. Two of them are A finalists for the 200 and 500, so they got some good girls.
And the Czech team, what have they done recently? They came in the Europeans. They came 6th in the Richichi last year. They came 5th, and as Denmark, you're actually talking about here. What have they done recently? I say they did 7th and last season in the Szeged World Cup, I believe. But yeah, it's interesting to see how these competitors can go against each other. Some of the larger teams, they're actually they're not here for various reasons, but I guess you can only race against who's in front of you. Here they are, they're off. Power.
It's really important in the K4 races to have a good start, so be interested after the start to see who's up ahead. It's a big boat, so
it takes a while to get the speed up, but once they get there, then the boat is cruising really fast. That looks like Poland that possibly has a little bit of a lead. Is it Poland?
Well, they're on form. There's Ednia Duzdiecka, there's Agnieszka Kowalska, there's Magdalena Kukowska, and Anna Wlosławska. They haven't raced a lot together. The Polish team have been switching an awful lot in the last couple of years, but
they have a really strong program, so they could always put a good K4 together.
And the Polish are out at this World Cup in full force, so they're also definitely having some competitions. You can see a Chinese boat putting in a charge there in lane 2. The two Chinese boats are definitely going head to head, because they know that this is an extremely important competition for them. They're in lane 2 and 3, and you have the Polish boats. Is that against the Australians, or is it against the Swedish? Swedish girls and the Polish going head to head. The one Chinese boat seems to be pulling away a little bit now.
Well, they're into the last 100 meters, and it's going to be really, really close. It looks like China is going pulling ahead. They want it, but Sweden also wants it.
Looks like Sweden's going to take the silver, possibly, if China doesn't push too hard there.
What a great result for world canoeing. Another win for China.
Sweden, that's a great result for Sweden, and you can see China is definitely trying to not go home after these World Cup series.
It's really exciting to see the Swedish girls up on the podium in the K4. They were in training camp for a really long time, almost 2 months, and they were away from home, so it's good to see that the hard work paid off.
Well, fantastic. China take yet another medal. They've obviously, the boys back home were saying, well, let's have a bit of this, because I say the main team is coming over in a couple of weeks for the Chi-Chi. They're having a limited team in Szeged. That's the 3rd World Cup of the season. The major goal of the Chinese, I was talking to their manager yesterday, is the Asian Championships or the Asian Games, which are only held every 4 years, and that's in South Korea in October. The second priority is going to be the Worlds in Moscow, and the third for them is going to be the under-23s. But everything is all to do with the Asian Games.
That's quite late in the season, actually. If you take that World Champs, it's quite early this year, the beginning of August. They don't seem to then get a rest, or maybe they get a small break and then compete again. That looked like a good K4 race, I think.
Well, this is the result. China 2, followed by Sweden and China 1. 2 Chinese on the podium, followed by Poland. Great result for New Zealand, an untested team. Spain, Australia, Denmark and the Czech Republic. I think we'll see that slightly changing in the next couple of weeks. This is the first ICF World Cup of the season. Then we have a break next weekend. Then we go to Chi-Chi, which is quite close to Prague in the Czech Republic. And then we go on to Szeged, which is, for many people, the home of paddling. So
it's always got the best crowd. If you wanting to watch a race and you want to be in the crowd and have a great atmosphere, that's the place to be.
Next race, switching from kayaks to canoes, and it's the 500 meters. Lane number 4, who's that bloke?
Mark Oldershaw from Canada. He was really good on the 1,000 meters yesterday. So, I mean, he's a really strong and powerful canoer, so be looking out for him.
And next to him, someone who is he a star, a rising star? I don't know. He's already got a gold medal in the 500 meters. Yes, I was about to
say, he's already got some medals to his name from Brazil, that's for sure.
Jose dos Santos Queiroz, he's there. I think yesterday I was saying he's 19. I think he's actually 20 years old now, but he's actually come on. And Anthony Melnik, 20 years old. He came 8th in the B final at the Worlds, so he's going to be in good company. The local crowd are going to be going crazy for Lucien Colillo. In the Worlds, he came 8th in the semi-final, so he's made a semi-final already. Robert Mike won the K1 1,000 meters with a Vasbanyani in Duisburg. Interesting to see how he moves. Mark Oldershaw, Dynasty. Yes, last year he was down a bit, had a bit of a year off, didn't he? And then this year he's really come forward. Isaac dos Santos, with Brazil hosting the Olympics, he's going to be a major medal contender. For Slovakia, Rastislav Kohet, he was in the C100s in the World Championships. He came 8th. He made the final. Marcin Grabowski, he's had a really good year last year. Won a couple of medals, made most of the finals. Matej Rustik, he was in the Szeged World Cup last year. He actually made the final. And then someone look out for the next few years. He's 18 years old. He's Christoph Kart. He's the 2013 Junior World Marathon Champion. He's the World Junior 1000 silver medalist. So he's the
Hungarians always have a lot of depth. It's great to see it. Almost get a bit envious having that in such a great nation as well, that all other countries can do.
Well, I think you're inspiring a nation. So in 4 or 5 years' time, we'll have this competition, and everyone else will be jealous. Well, the conditions, are they just about perfect?
I think so. They're definitely great today. There's not too much wind and there's not much chop at all on the course, so I think they're in for a good race.
You can see them, they're pretty stable and ready to go. So.
And they're off. Looks like Luca in lane 2 had a very good start.
Starts is always a really important part in these short races, and especially in canoeing where there's a little bit less stroke than in kayaking.
The Brazilian's definitely stamping his mark and taking a bit of a lead there. He's almost got a bit of a boat length on the rest of the field before the 250 mark.
Well, he took a silver yesterday, which must have given him confidence, unless he wanted the gold, obviously, in the 1,000 meters. But yeah, he's saying it's my race, boys.
I don't think he'll definitely be challenged towards the end. It looks like there's the Hungarian guy on the outside lane.
And you can see Mark, right?
Mark's not letting him get away with it. And the Italians racing for his home crowd as well.
We talked about the crowd in Sega. There's not the same number here, but they're certainly vocal. We expect to hear a lot of cheering because at the moment they're in a medal position. But it's certainly looking very solid as we approach the last 180 meters. Isaac dos Santos Cruz is, if he can hold on, it's his race. But Mark Holdershaw is saying, I want a medal.
Yes, he's definitely going to challenge the Brazilian, and I think the Hungarian is going to come through pretty strong at the end as well. Robert Mark.
Here we go, 100 meters to go. Mark Aldershaw in second place. He's less than a boat length ahead now.
Really trying to move on him. The Brazilian's really picking up the rate, and
he's
trying to hold on.
Stamping his mark. He says, this is my race.
It's going to take it. But well done, Mark Aldershaw. Well, victory for Brazil. Silver for Canada.
And Hungary taking
Hungary
third.
with Robert Mike, 29 years old. It's a surprise maybe because I say he's massively impressive in the C2 1000s, but his best result recently came 7th at Sega last year in the C1 500. But it's all about this. He looks an extraordinary athlete when you see him. He's like a incredibly natural athlete.
And it's been the programs in Brazil have really stepped up. When we go as Canadian race in Brazil and in the Pan American Championships, we could really see their whole team stepping it up towards Rio, and clearly he's leading the charge with his great results.
We also have good Brazilians in the C2 200. Yeah, there's a bit of depth of field, isn't it? It's coming through. So let's keep it brief, but how's your weekend been so far? Not necessarily results, but feelings. How are you feeling?
Well, I think it started off with a bit of a shock to everyone, even the Europeans with the cold weather. So I think now it's cleared up, and I think everybody's really excited. I think it's a good weekend, and I'm feeling great. How are you, Em?
Before we'll ask, let's confirm the results. Jose Quantas Cruz dos Santos, he takes the gold medal. Mark Aldershaw for Canada second, and Robert Mike takes the third medal, with the 18-year-old Christoph in fourth place, followed by Slovakia, twice Poland, Azerbaijan, and Italy couldn't quite make it today, but it's a very, very impressive result early in the season, as I said.
It was not the closest of races, but those guys definitely stamping their mark in the 500.
We might have to cut off for the 200s, but Emily, your turn. How's it going?
Oh no, it's been great. It's great to be back in Europe, and the sun's shining, so the summer's starting again, which is my favorite part of the year, so it's been great.
And you two have quite a few air miles between you.
Yes, I think so. Many clocked up. One exciting thing about this course, which I must point out, is that when you're lining up on the start line, you can see these really beautiful mountains. And as the weekend's gone with more sun shining, I've noticed that the snow's been melting. So there's less snow caps on the top of the mountain now. So I guess when we race at World Champs, it'll just be a completely bare mountain on a clear day.
Well, there's still a bit of snow on the top. We actually drove over from Geneva. We're based in Geneva, and it's a stunning drive, and it's a stunning location, isn't it?
It's definitely really pretty.
And the locals are out in form. This is a big park, so you have some fanatics and also some key people. Well, the important part of this is, I guess, why they put all the effort in is because it's all about taking or going for medals, and we're just going to watch the award ceremony. We only have time for one today, unfortunately, because we have 10 races to pack in, but we'll certainly be cheering for all of them.
They all have great smiles on, so they look pretty happy, as they should be.
Sorry, last year Kenny was taking his mobile phone, and this year he's got his GoPro. So it's taking it the next step forward. This is the, as you can see if you've been watching, this is the medal ceremony for the K1 500 men's, and 3 real champions on the podium.
So they're all 3 great athletes.
Bronze medal from Australia, Kenny Wallace.
Former Olympic champion Kelly Wallace for Australia. Bridget, his younger sister, is competing well this weekend also, really close family. Luciano Bonfiglio, who is the president of the organising committee here, doing a fantastic job because they're in construction at the moment to get themselves ready for the 2015 Worlds. But it's a great facility. Make sure you don't bang your head on the top. Dostal from Czech Republic. He's still very young, but as you mentioned, he certainly knows how to make this boat go.
Gold medal, representing Hungary, Ben Stonvari.
That's the way it should be. Delighted with his medal. Ben Stonvari, as you heard in the PA system, from Hungary.
I think it's really great to see that they're all so excited for their medals.
Well, you've won a few, haven't you? You know how much work goes into it.
Oh yes, I do. It's a really happy situation to be standing on a podium.
Well done, gold medal. Great start to the season. Must give him great confidence to go in the next couple of events to know he's beaten such an international field.
Yeah, I think it's great because like Eb said, the 500 isn't. There's the
we need
phone
to see
shot.
what he's taking the phone. What's happened to his GoPro?
In his other hand. We'll see that later up on social media. Some great athletes there.
It's always good to see too. Those guys are really respectful with each other, and everyone is really friendly with everyone. So there's a lot of respect going on. Everyone knows how hard it is to win those races. So it's nice to see.
Which is the way it should be. We're moving on to the very quick race, K1 200 meters for the men. And the story maybe is not who's in the final, but who's not in the final. The world champion Peter Ostrom-Manning.
He's had some problems with his shoulder in the off-season, I know.
Well, he was the 11th fastest time yesterday, didn't make it through. Pietro Simonietzki, who's obviously a world champion from Szeged in 2011, he had a bad 2012 season. He missed the final as well. Lachlan Taman, lucky, he had the 9th fastest time, but didn't make it through in Australia. But here are the men that we have to look out for. I suppose lanes 4, 5 and 6 with Sal Craviato Rivera, Olympic and gold, Olympic and world's medalist Marko Dragojevic from Slovenia. He's now 19 years old, and I remember watching him in Rachici last year when he won. He's a power man, isn't he?
Definitely is. I think there's always some different names in the 200 meters, and I think we'll see that today as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few that haven't put forward big results just far. Kristin Dushev, he made the B final in the world, so he came 3rd in that, so obviously he's delighted to get to this level.
Ecuador has done well in previous times.
Cesar de Cesare, born in Argentina, 33 years old, was disappointed in his Olympic performance, but in the Worlds he actually came 4th. Last year in Szeged in the World Cup he got the gold. Kulic, we don't know much about him, or I don't know much about him, but they obviously seem to be doing something right in Serbia. Well-known figure, Sal Craviato. As we mentioned, he bronzed in the Worlds, silvered in London. This is the man monster, Drago Salovic. He did really well in the Europeans. He got a silver, but didn't really perform to his potential in the Worlds. He only came 7th. Hungary, Sandor Tuka. He made the B final in the Worlds. And then Carlos Garotti, Matteo Roy from Italy again. They haven't posted big results in the international scene in the last couple of years, unless they've been hiding themselves back.
They really have been hiding. I think the last best result was probably from Giuseppe Ede. Oh, and they often, these 200-meter men always have such a high stroke rate.
It's about 170, is that?
Almost can't keep timing, so I'm sure the coaches have to be quite switched on.
And it looks like Serbia, it's Grujic taking the early lead, but it's really, really close in lane 4. You can see with Craviato also pulling it up. There's only 100 meters to go. Maybe it's Spain in lane 4 who's coming through. He's got a few centimeters ahead.
200 meters are always extremely
hold on.
close.
It's going to be Spain lane 4.
Oh.
Or is it Italy?
We'll have to wait and see for the official results.
We can hear the crowd going crazy, so I think
possible Italy might have done something.
We're not in a line. We're about 20 meters to the right of the actual finishing line. So I believe that Sal, confirming it on the screen, Sal Craviato Rivero has confirmed his pedigree.
The athletes waiting in anticipation. I can imagine that they just want to know where they've come, but they don't really know.
It's often the case, isn't it? Mark de Jong's often caught up with those. He doesn't know whether he's
won. I think
so
the best one between Sweden and Canada, that was nobody knew at all. Not the athletes, not the commentators, not the line judge.
But here well, in hindsight, we certainly know who's won now.
But I think the Italians should be really happy with their second position. The crowd went crazy, and of course he probably wanted to win, but that was a great show.
They've made a lot of finals so far, the Italians this week. And obviously they've got a major. We're staying in the same hotel as them, and they've been going to bed quite early, which must be so difficult for an Italian. Anyway, here we go. The results are Sal Craviato Rivero first for Spain. Sandor Tokta from Hungary takes a second officially, apparently. And Matteo Florio, a bit of a surprise, only down in bronze position.
And super close, so definitely an exciting race. I think the K2 men is going to be even more exciting later today.
Well, speaking about the K2 men, and obviously Dajchenko and Postuge have been dominant for the last couple of years, but apparently there's another Russian under-23 team pushing them all the way.
Oh wow, and I know that the Germans have changed as well. Ronnie Rauer as a young K2 partner now in the 200, and they're flying as well.
Leibischer, who you're talking about, the finish he had on the 500 meters in the Worlds, I don't think Rennie's got over that yet. He was leading by a couple of 8 lengths, and he said, he's
super talented and young, and really has a great future in kayaking, I think.
And the home German crowd is always a bonus for them, for sure.
Here we go. Who's in lane 1?
Mark, that we just saw win a silver medal in the 500 meters. He's back at it again, and I mean, he's a powerful guy, like I said before, so you could always count him in.
It's good fun, or a good test, or completely ridiculous to do 2 events in 5 minutes. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But so we're talking about, the C1 200 meters. The compatriot of Emily Fornell, who's joined me in the commentary box today, with Bridget Hartley, obviously, talking about one of her friends.
Mark's been training really hard, so I don't think, doing many races back to back is something that is a disadvantage for him. I think he's in peak form, and I think you could expect good things.
I saw him yesterday playing cards, and he looks not mean, but he looks lean, doesn't he? He looks lean and out there.
It's been a good training year for sure.
Walter Santos from Brazil, 26 years old, came 5th in the Worlds in Duisburg. Stefan Kehre from Germany. Soon his birthday next week. He actually won the B final, and this is a really small guy, but Benavides Lopez de Allier, he's medalled in most of the actual events in the last couple of years. We're not talking about small here, we're talking about a giant. Stefan Holtz has stacks and stacks of medals. I was counting up the other day. He's totally won 11 World Championships medals. He won the C2 200 at the Worlds. Andrzej Dziecki from Poland, but clearly racing under Irish colours for the last few years. He's good to go in there. Lives in Cork. And finally, we have Michael Marek Lumniewski, 20 years old, made a C final in the World. So there's some different pedigrees on paper in here. We'll just have to see who's on form this side of the season.
Right now, C1 men, 200 meters.
Well, it looks like Alfonso Benavides Lopez de Ayala. We're going to call him Alfonso. He's looking, he's taking a half a boat lead at the moment.
He's definitely going forward. I think if you can get a little bit of a lead in the 200, it's not so easy for somebody to come back at you.
You can see in the 200 they're really staying forward in their strokes and just putting them in as fast as they can and as much power as they can too.
But we can see also just down Stefan Kiri. It's almost finished already, and it's going to be lane 6. It's going to be Alfonso, as we said. He led from start to finish.
So that was interesting, the small against the big, and completely different pedigrees, and they both take medals.
Because there are some real, really developed athletes in here. I'm not saying he's not developed, because obviously he's full of muscle, but he's not that big, is he?
I think
But I suppose, Emily, there's
it's not all of the size.
they do talk about pocket rockets, and there are quite a lot of those.
Certainly have one sitting next to us now.
It's all about moving the boat as fast as you can, so I think the technique plays a big role in what we do. So if you can figure out a way to use your body at your advantage, then there's no reason why you couldn't win.
Absolutely.
But super close finish. Anyway, I think that's not even a hand length, that.
But he almost, if he'd lost, you'd have possibly criticised him. Well, I'm not a canoeist, but did he go a bit too early? Did he push too early?
Oh, I don't think so. In the 200 meter.
No, I mean in the last 2 meters, he leant back and pushed the
he
bow
leant
over,
back and
lost some momentum.
It's quite possible that.
It's a hard thing to time, especially when you're in the middle lane, because the buoys are a little further away, because the line is actually before those big buoys that you see. So.
Anyway, he won.
I know I was told at the Olympics it looked like I finished.
We'll go on to that in a second. Spain wins. Stefan Kiri second. Adam Lantas, another victory for Hungary. And big Stefan Holtz will come through later in the season. Mark Aldershaw, just too much to put the two results together. But he made the final, though, which is great for speed work. I don't think he's got ambitions to win a gold in this 200 metres, has he?
No, I think his main event is 1,000 meters, but I think it's a confidence boost to be able to make the final in 200, and he should be happy.
Well, so far, great conditions. Let's quickly go back to Bernadette. Tell us all about your Olympics. What were you saying?
Bridget.
Bridget, sorry.
No, I was just saying that sometimes it looks like the finish line is already there, and often some people will say, oh, you've put your stroke in before the finish line.
Okay, now the K1 200 metres, and I suppose Lisa Carrington must be the slight enormous favourite, but there's some good other names in here. Marta Watakiewicz, in most competitions in the last couple of years from Poland, she's actually come in second. Karolina Naja's always been close up there, and Jo Bridgen-Jones coming back from her shoulder, so it's a really good field, isn't it?
I think that Lisa's definitely probably one of the favourites, but I know Marta is going to not make it easy for her at all. I almost think they're going to have a photo finish.
Linnea Stenzel, she was in the K4 boat about 30 minutes ago. Ninetta Vad, stunning under 23 career. She had good results. She's now with Gabriela Szabo in the K2 500 boat. And Karolina Naja, she's got Olympic medals, she's got world medals. She often does the K2 500 beat to Mika Lejicic, and she got some good results recently. Interesting to see how Jo Bridgen-Jones is coming back. Obviously, she had last year off, but she looked good yesterday. And even this morning, she was racing, leading off. Lisa Carrington won the gold medal yesterday in the K1 500, and this is her major event. So you don't want to really bet against her. Marta Watakiewicz, she was the poster girl for Poznan a couple of years ago. As I say, she's got lots of silver medals around her neck at the moment, so she'll be wanting it. Yuzo, she's 25 years old. She won the Asian Games, she won the China Games, and she's obviously an Olympian like yourselves. Tina Karlova, she came 6th in the Worlds. And Yvonne Schering, who's 36 years young now. Obviously, she has a World Championship gold medal, but that's in the K2 500. But last year, she was always in the single event, also in the single event. I've done enough talking, girls. What are your thoughts?
I think this is going to be an exciting race. We're nervous for the girls, because this is a race we've raced before. So excited to see who's going to take an early lead and who's going to take the win.
We've got 40 seconds. Talk us through it.
Well, I think it's good to see who can get out the blocks first. I think that Hungarian girl went out quite hard.
Yeah, but Lisa is always out quick.
It's definitely Mata and Lisa going head to head. Poland and New Zealand, they both look like they're almost exactly in line. And the Hungarian girl, and as well as
you can see Lisa now pulling ahead a little bit. It looks like the Polish girl.
You got two Polish girls going against each other, so they possibly have a selection. But Lisa's pulling away as she usually does towards the end of the race. I wouldn't
really strong
block out.
finish.
So there you have it, Lisa Carrington.
Doing it again, second gold in one weekend.
Extraordinary performance there, and second event in a row in the K1 500s. We had the two Poles. We had Beata Mikolajczyk, who actually just beat out Caroline Naya, and unfortunately for Caroline Naya, she's been put into third place again, but this time is by Marta Wojciechowicz. So it's if they're trialling for the Europeans, there's going to be some disappointed and happy people out there.
Yes.
You girls know how to handle pressure. Lisa Carrington, she just pulls it out again and again, doesn't she?
Yeah, she really does. And one thing that amazes me is her complete, she's got no facial expression at the end of a race. That thing's been something that's always worried me, because the Hungarians, I love them finishing a race because they always show so much elation and excitement. And Lisa will finish at a big race, even at the Olympics, and looks left and right, and she's got no expression on her face.
Well, rugby fans will understand what I'm talking about. It's about a bit like Johnny Wilkinson in a way, that they're so good at their sport, but they all sort of keep it internal. They don't need to put it out. Even interviewing her, she's completely delightful, but you don't think she goes out clubbing. Anyway, Lisa Carrington, New Zealand, well done, gold medal. Marta Wojciechowicz from Poland in the silver. Karolina Naya in Poland takes the third. Yvonne Schoering at 36 done well. Ninetta Vad, Juzu, Martina Kolova in the stencils, and Joe Bridgen-Jones. Great to make a final coming back.
It was really close in between these two Polish girls. So
yes, I think they're definitely having some selections, but I think for them, if you don't make the K1 race, then you're definitely going to be put in a team vote, which has a very good chance of medaling as well. So I think the Polish have an extremely strong team at the moment.
We're looking at the results in the Worlds for the last 2 or 3. They're always up in the medals, but doing them as such is a nightmare because they're always different combinations. K2 200 men. 5 years old, so they're actually coming through extraordinarily well on this level. Hungary, they're putting different people in every race, but they're always people who you expect to be able to get a medal there.
Still be in the mix. Is that the Russian boat coming up? I saw their boat being made in the Nello factory, and it was quite interesting and extremely detailed. So I think it was a challenge for Nello to make for them.
And here's the new crew that went really fast in the heats in the semi-finals. So they're to look out, the Germans.
Ronnie Rao, 13 World Championship gold medals. These are the people they're going to be cheering for at home. Mathieu Floret, Manfred Rizzi. Lithuania, they actually made the semi-finals in the Worlds. And Svankist and Svensson, they've put some good results together. They actually came 5th in the Worlds, but in the last couple of years they've been working very hard together.
They're not slow, that's for sure.
Here we go.
Anybody's game.
I'm excited to see the stroke rate.
Well, Postuge and Darchenko, they're going to be pushed, as I say, by their under 23 compatriots. But who's going to be off to get start?
Really good start in lane 1.
Go lane 1.
You're allowed to be biased. But I think you've got the Germans definitely taking a small lead over there.
See the Russians trying to stay with them.
This is going to be a fascinating last 100 meters. We have Germany leading at the moment.
And I think the race is on for second and third. The Germans are stamping their mark.
Wow, very impressive.
That is a win. That is a win. It looked like a close one between Russia and, was it Italy?
They're slapping hands. That's how to celebrate.
You can see they're very excited.
Well, on paper, this is a really, really good combination, isn't it? It's Ronnie Rao, who's I think he's won more gold medals at Worlds than anyone else competing now. And
he's definitely not a rookie to racing. He's been around for a while and he's got some great results.
Tom Leibish has been on the scene a couple of years now, only 20 years old, but he's been putting some great results in. He won the gold medal in the K1 500 last year. Best start though for Canada. You won the start medal.
Yeah. No, I think they're a really fast starter, and they knew those Germans were gonna be really quick and really hard to beat at the end. But it's only first World Cup.
And it was a big field to have made the final already. It's pretty impressive stuff. But Germany, that's normally what you'd expect from the Russians, isn't it? Last 2 years, they've dominated everything.
The Russians have definitely always had a little bit of a gap, but we know that there are other crews still to be added in the next 2 World Cups, the British and the French.
It looks like Ronnie just won another Olympic gold. He's so delighted.
I think it's great for him because he wasn't quite getting in the medals in the last few seasons. So I think it's great for him now that he's right up there again.
Ronnie Rao, Tom Leibish take the gold. Postrigay-Dachenko silver, and Italy have another medal. Rizzi and Floria, well done for those.
That's great, I think, in their home crowd.
Canada, excellent 7th position. Really in touch still.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be happy. It's early in the season for us, so you know, it's only going uphill from now.
And your brother's only been in the country for 2 days now, so he's probably still battling with some jet lag.
Same distance, same number of crew, but we're going to the canoes at the moment. On paper, it looks like a fairly open race. Poland, they came 7th. Well, Kudla, part of the partnership, is with Matthias Kaminski. He came 7th in the Worlds. Ecuador, 18 years old, 24 years old, made the semi-final at the Worlds. Duisburg last year also made a semi-final. When I was talking about Italy 2 minutes ago, I was talking rubbish, said they're both 17. I was looking at my notes for the C2. These guys are both 17.
Oh, they're the young crew. It's interesting to see there's another Brazilian boat racing, so I think they have a really good squad.
They have
different names for every single event that has raced so far this morning, so I think they really have a good C1 squad.
Well, Silva and Oliveira, they actually took a gold medal in one of the World Cups last year, 23, 22 years old. They're really going for it. They won the B final in Duisburg.
Yeah, the Brazil program is really, really coming up strong. There'll be some to watch in Rio.
Second Italians, it's the younger brother of the Cretans. It's Nicolai, who's 19 years old with Daniele Santini. Who are these?
So it's Ben and Gab. They're both some of my teammates, and they've also been training really hard, and they like the quick stuff, so they'll be excited to race this for sure.
And this weekend they entered into the 200, 500, 1000. As they slowly line up, but they had really good results. They won, which one did they win last year? In Poznan last year, they won the C2 1000 gold, and then Gabriel, he went out a few minutes later and won the 5000 meters. Yeah,
they're in great form, and they like all kinds of different distances, and they'll be to watch in this race.
And your other compatriots who are not competing at the moment, will anyone on the bank to cheer them along? You haven't got a big team over, have you, at the moment?
No, they're all coming this week for the next 2 World Cups.
It's always interesting watching the C2 race, make sure that their boat goes forward, one paddle on either side, but they managed to go extremely fast.
Early leaders is Santini and Cretchen for Italy.
You can hear the crowd going crazy, so I think they really have a fan base.
Inez Italian leading. But the Brazilians are keeping in touch at the moment, so it's lane 5.
And so are the Canadians up in lane 8.
Approaching the last 30 minutes, it's so quick, it looks like we're going to have a victory for Italy.
Oh, that's in close for 3rd.
I think Canada was third.
I think they might have got it in. Were you cheering for them?
Well, my eyes say they come third, but
Nikolai Kachin, originally from Moldova, with his brother Sergei. Nikolai, 20 years old, and Daniele Santini. They've obviously put something together and got a World Cup victory. So it probably won't win at the Worlds because there's quite a few top teams who are not yet put their cards on the table, not being here. But it's as you say, you can only beat who's in front of you.
I think to get a World Cup medal in any distance it's really confidence boosting for the beginning of the season and makes them want to train harder. But the Brazilians, again, they're another medal for them. I think they're going strong.
excited to see if the Canadian came third. It was really close, but
M's more nervous now to see the results. Look at the replay. Oh,
not sure they did.
Between, what is it, Ecuador and Canada?
We'll soon know. Yes!
Oh,
Sorry,
Ecuador just got it. That was super close.
So, Italy take the gold, Brazil silver, Ecuador, it's great for the countries with less people in to actually come forward and make some medals, followed by Canada, Poland, and again Italy. But you made another final, 4th place. Will they be happy or disappointed?
Like I just said, I think it's early in the season for us. So coming over and posting great results is awesome.
K2 200 women. Clearly we've got the Moldovans who enter every competition, but we've got a couple of hot teams here. We've got Connie Wasmuth, Tina Dietze, so that's splitting up from Francesca Weber, who's doing different things this year. Catherine MacArthur, Alice Burnett. Alice, I spoke to her on Saturday and she promised me she wanted to comment today, so I said, you're not, you're going to make the final. Luckily she did, so that's why you girls are sitting next to me. She's doing journalism as a
So
degree.
you were your B plan.
You were my C plan.
Oh wow,
Oh, wow.
Next time we'll say no when he asks us.
China, great to have another team in the final here. In fact, they've got 2 teams in the final, so it might be another.
I'm sure they're trying to go for selections again, so they're definitely not going to go slow in this race.
They must get the medal, the Serbians, Moldovan sisters, Nicola and Oliviera, for competing at the most events. They've done pretty much everything in the last few years, and got quite a few medals out of it as well. Really interesting to see how Connie Wasmuth and Tina Dietze go together. Obviously massive experience. Connie has so far 19 World Championship medals, but it is looking good as well. Gabriela Zaba, who has stacks of medals in the K4, she's with Ninetta Vad, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go together. Again, these 2 girls go in most events. It's Anna Roxana Lehahi, Victoria Schwartz. They've been in Cape Town this winter and obviously in Rio as well. Spain putting, most teams are making the final. And Denmark, 2 finalists. Obviously with Rennie, he's always in the finalists, so 3 finalists again. So your thoughts?
Well, I think there's always favourites with the Hungarians and the Germans. I don't see a Polish boat here, which they're usually really quick, so I'm almost thinking there's going to be a fast Chinese boat that we don't know about in this race, because I know they've been giving some good results out of the whole weekend, the female crews.
Well, look out for the bottom of your screen when the race is going to be lanes 2 and 3. Fastest qualifications were the lane 5. There's Miss Vad, Ninetta Vad, sorry, 25 years old.
But the Serbians are not slow either, so I don't think I can have a quite win prediction, but we'll see how the race goes.
Really fast start from the middle lanes out there.
Well, the Hungarians have nailed it there.
The Serbians have got a good boat run now at the moment as well. They're in lane.
The Germans have a good boat run too.
3 boats in a row.
I think that's going to
4, 5 and 6.
It's going to be very close for the Serbians, the Germans and the Hungarians for sure. See who's pulling ahead. The Serbians are not slowing down.
They won the gold medal in the World Cups in Szeged and Ricici, but it looks like slightly ahead. The Germans are going for it. Germany's going to take it in lane 5.
Yeah, I think that's definitely Germany, Serbia and Hungary. That's the medals for you.
But if you put the top athletes in there, Tina Dietze, who obviously the possibly one of the most, apart from yours, Bridget, the winning as she crossed the line in London Olympics, it's extraordinary. But she won the Worlds as well last year in the K2. But she just keeps going, and Connie Wasmuth, a different combination this year, and it seems to be working.
I think the Germans also have a lot of depth, and it's always great to see that they can change some boat combinations and still get really good results.
And Hungary in the K4, obviously they're making changes because we have 2 pregnancies, no injury, so there wasn't much of a choice this year.
But I think that's great to see some different Hungarians as well. They're not all the same crews all the time.
They have a really strong team, so they're always to watch for.
I think the Serbian girls are going to be very happy with that result.
But they have the form. In the Worlds, they came, I'm harping back to the Worlds, but I suppose that's the biggest reference we have recently. They came in the bronze in there. The Europeans, they came 5th, and in the World Cups last year, they competed in Szeged and Richichi and won both.
Nice to see the Germans are really happy with that result, and even in a new combination, it's great to see.
Confirmation of the results. Connie Wasmuth, Tina Dietze take the medal. The Moldovans take the silver, and Gabriela Szabo and Ineta Vad managed to take the bronze medal. With Australia, it's their first international season, coming in an honourable 9th place.
And you can see the 2 Chinese boats were head-to-head again, so it's a super close race for them to see who's going home and who's staying.
Well, it's good to see we have the C1 women in the programme. It's going to be an Olympic event in 2020. All sorts of controversial.
I think that's a very much debated topic over the last few months since that was announced.
Well, there was a meeting in Peru, wasn't there, and a vote had to happen. And the idea, I was speaking to Frank Gardner, who's the chairman of the sprint committee a couple of days ago, and he said, I can quote him on it, he said the idea is by the 2015 Worlds, they want to have 15 nations, or 25 nations competing.
Wow, that's quite a lot, considering there's not so many nations that do C1 men. So
it's really, in Canada, there's many women that do canoeing. As kids, we all learn how to kayak and canoe. So for us, it's a really strong program, and they're clearly pushing for it in Canada. But it's nice to see different countries now around the world trying to put a program together.
In your picture just a second ago, we have Anja Veju, who's 17 years old. She was in the world final, she came 5th, and here we have Daniela Stemnova from Bulgaria. She actually won the silver medal. No prizes for getting the gold medal in the Worlds. It was Laurence Vincent Laponte who's dominated the sport for the last couple of years, isn't she? Completely from Canada.
In Canada, it's been a tough race. She just lost the selection, so the depth is there in Canada. See if the world can step up too.
But it's also interesting that the K2 200 men, it was the biggest field I think we've ever had with 50 entries, so perhaps a statement is being put forward. But anyway, here we go. 5 young ladies racing together, and the goal also is to get consistently around about the 50-second mark, so we'll see how they go. But the conditions are perfect for them. Look out for lane number 6. 2 from Ecuador, 2 from Uzbekistan. So you must have tried it then when you were going up.
Yeah, no, we raced when we go home for the Canadian Championship. We jump in the C4s, and it's not easy.
And here we go, the 2 girls who actually made it to the final of the Worlds are actually putting down a statement. They seem to be slightly ahead of the others.
You can see their stroke rate is pretty high, and they're really pushing for it. So
I think those boats are going really well in the front there, and that's probably exciting to see if they're trying to develop the sport so much, to see that their styles are coming along as well, and they're paddling well.
It's really close race, so it's really exciting to see.
So Ecuador against Bulgaria. So far, Ecuador has the advantage.
They're
Only
going
17 years old, as I say.
Youngest competitor then might be taking a gold medal.
It's going to be, it's both about the closest race we've had this weekend. Ecuador take a gold medal. Bulgaria second, Uzbekistan in third position.
I'm sure she's going to be excited with that one.
Again, it's really nice to see the South Americans developing their programs and putting some girls in the top in the world, so it's good.
And they just cut the time. That
They made
the
made
criteria
50
was.
seconds, so a few more federations perhaps. As I say, the goal is 25 by a year and a half. And that's going to be in Italy, so it's interesting to see how that develops.
Well, that's quite a challenge because I know there's not much canoe men in South Africa, and the canoe woman, I guess, has to try and step up as well. So
Bridget,
I'm not sure
I'll
I will
teach you.
change. I'm quite happy with kayaking. Oh, is that a wrap up of the 200-meter races for the day?
Yep, that's pretty much it as far as we're concerned for the A final coverage. You girls going off for a cup of tea, or are you preparing yourself for the 5,000?
I'm actually entered in the 5,000, so maybe I'll save the tea for after.
I'm sitting and being a spectator for the 5,000 at this event. I've already done
So
3
let's
events.
break off quickly. We have the results, confirmation of the results for the C1 200 women. As we saw on the screen, Angie Aveglo from Ecuador wins the gold, Bulgaria second, and Uzbekistan take the bronze medal. So I say your racing's over.
My racing's over for the weekend, but I really like the 5,000, so I'll be taking it up in Rasica, but I'll be watching intently to see who's going to take the medals later on today for sure.
And Emily, you going for the win?
Of course. I think every time you line up, you go for the win. I know Tanil is also Hayton from New Zealand is looking for the win, so it'll be interesting.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We're just going to do a quick wrap. Any highlights for the weekend, just on general?
I think it's been a really good venue, a really good course, and the Italian team has been putting on a really good regatta. And it's really exciting for the upcoming season. I think a lot of teams have stepped it up, and the closer we'll get to the games, the harder it's going to get.
I suppose the highlight of the year is going to be Moscow at the beginning of August. Is that what your child go for?
That's what everyone's training
Bridget,
for.
thank you so much for taking time out to come and see us, and Emily also in major preparation for an event that's going to start in a couple of hours. We really do appreciate you.
Yeah, it's only a pleasure. It was lots of fun, actually.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Well, welcome back anytime. And I'm Matthew Layton. We're coming to you live from Italy. No World Cup racing next week. We're actually in Recife in a couple of weeks' time for the next second ICF World Cup of the season. And then we go on to Szeged the next weekend, which is in the south of Hungary. And then after that, we switch over to the slalom season. So it's going to be a lot of activity from us here. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can always go to the website as of later today to actually look again at the images of their favourite races. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Thank you, girls.
Bye. Thanks.